Hey everyone, it's Clint. I want to talk about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and that's because I love the Turtles. And sometimes I think to myself, why? Why do I love the Turtles so much? Because really, they've been through some rough times over several years of rough times. There's some things I just love about the Turtles, and they capture what it is that I'm looking for. And then other times it just, I don't know if it's too much Nickelodeon, too much of that and not enough of the comics. And so this is an interesting concept about how to maintain intellectual property and to make a franchise, have this lasting staying power, and also make it something that continues to draw in new fans and, interest them on a level other than just, t-shirts or like the logo or the characters way back from the 80s or 90s. What do you have to give us? So this reboot of the Ninja Turtles is coming. We don't know a lot yet, other than that people are promising big things, which they're always going to do, right? Anytime they make a movie, you've got to have good things to say. If I look back here, Kevin Eastman even mentioned it's in progress, and Kevin Eastman said it's going to be next level. I'd love to have Kevin Eastman on the show again. I did interview him once, had a great time. It was a lot of fun. But if you look at the Turtles here from the most recent duology that came out for the Ninja Turtles, something there's several things, but one of the things I had a huge problem with was the character design, and we seem to be seeing this over and over and over again. I get it. If you're a creative person, if you're making films or whatever, you want to put your mark on to, this art that you're creating. The problem is that you start to take out anything that people loved about those characters, about that franchise, in order to do something else. So you could just do something else, make a different movie. But what I'm really getting sick of is just trying to sell a movie based off of the name of it. And this has happened a lot in Star Wars. And I don't get Star Wars. There's plenty of other people that talk about that. But that's another franchise that has really gone far away from what made it great in the first place. So if I look at this image here in this article, you've got the Turtles, you've got Casey Jones, and you've got April O'Neil. And one of the big things that stands out to me, of course, is the character designs. They're all so different. And then it reminds me of the action that was in the movies. They weren't ninjas anymore. It just seemed like big hulking, creatures, big hulking reptiles that just flew through the air and busted people up, and just the superhuman strength and all that. I don't believe that is what the big draw for the Turtles was. It was that they were ninjas and they had this, discipline. They practiced it. Another thing is that they didn't. The differences between the Turtles was very personality based, and honestly, I think that's enough. They don't have to be changed all that much in order for you to get it. I look at these old designs from the original movies, and they're kind of rubbery. They're very Jim Henson-ish, but they look like the Turtles, right? And the personality differences, again, it's from their interactions with each other. It's how they act. People are smart enough to pick this kind of stuff up. And again, the focus was on them being ninjas. Not only that, but as far as superheroes go, and I never thought of the Turtles as superheroes, but they're not, it's not like they're overpowered. They're, as far as the power scale goes, they're actually really on the low end. And so the very real struggles that they can run into, hand-to-hand combat, street level kind of stuff, that becomes extremely interesting with the Ninja Turtles. And then you also have the family dynamic, which to me was always a big deal. There's 4 boys in my family, 1 sister, and all 4 of us each had a favorite turtle. One was different from the other, and it was just fun. You related to them and how they acted as a family. And I'm not gonna bash on some of the other attempts so much, because there was some attempts at that. I just think that they failed, and that's because they missed what really made the Ninja Turtles great in the first place, in favor of trying to add some kind of new spin or to fix what frankly wasn't broken. Now I can already hear the comments flying that, possibly, Clint, you're a little too nostalgic for the Turtles and you remember them a certain way and it's never going to live up to your expectations. Well, you might be right, but The Mandalorian proves that it can be done, because Star Wars has been through so many terrible iterations, it seems like, especially recently. It's starting to get obnoxious. I I mean, I've liked Star Wars, ever since I was a kid, but I'm not like a diehard fan, possibly like some people. I know some take it really hard, but so for me, it was just like, I can divorce myself from Star Wars. Not interested in watching the next movie. I don't really care about Star Wars at all. And, for me, it's the original trilogy, and that's enough for me. I'm happy with that. But then The Mandalorian happened, and I'm up to episode 3. I'm caught up currently. The Mandalorian did exactly what I want to have happen with the Ninja Turtles. And that is, it took probably Kevin Feige taking a long, hard look at Star Wars. What was the essence of Star Wars? What made it so interesting and so just awesome for fans that wanted to, dive into that world? And it really, if you boil it down, it's a Western in space. And that is, you've heard all the time with the original trilogy, that's basically the kind of story that was being told. You had interesting characters in very, very dangerous places, treading new ground. It was a very wild kind of feeling. And you also have some awesomeness with guns and aliens and robots and helmets and all of this kind of stuff that just made it a fun story to follow. Now, my expectations are rising for The Mandalorian because I am enjoying it, and I want it to continue to be awesome and pull out more of those kinds of things that I love from the original Star Wars trilogy. I have no doubt that it will. I have no reason to believe that it'll let me down. I wish the films could do this, of course, but I think if you're stewarding over intellectual property and, these franchises that so many people are interested in, and they want to give you money to watch this stuff or buy your merchandise for more than just the logo, they love it. So my suggestion would be, for this reboot of the Ninja Turtles franchise in films, look back at what made the Ninja Turtles so appealing to so many people and what made it a commercial success in the past. Get to that. You've got all sorts of stuff to work with. You've got an awesome back catalog of comic books, some better than others, but definitely a lot of great ones that you can pull from and make some great entertainment with. There's no need to try and make it something other than it is. Ninja Turtles are great, but what it's going to take is some producers and a director that really care about getting to the essence of, what they initially were, why people loved them, and to make something new based off of that. Might be a tall order, but I think if you get the right people in that care about it and respect it, then it can happen. I remember Michael Bay when they were doing the other duology. Where is that came out with these turtles? He had said that he was going to make them aliens from space, and there was some kind of fan revolt, and so he changed that. That emphasizes to me that Michael Bay's not the right producer, director, anybody to be doing the Ninja Turtles. You got to have somebody that really cares and understands, or is just willing to understand. So thanks very much. I think I'm going to get back to packing some boxes. And if you backed Downcast, your books are going to get to you as fast as I can possibly get them to you. Really, really appreciate it. I'll tell you, if you want to be in the know for the next campaign, you'll be able to get the first book and the current book. And really, I want to make my mailing list the place to be. So I would join my mailing list. It's in the description below. And I promise I'm going to have a special tier just for you as a member of the mailing list that nobody else will have access to. So do that. Love you all. Thank you much and appreciate it. Bye.